Hello, everybody. Welcome to my show today. It's Crypto Kyle here, the Mystical Prophet. Today, we're going to be diving into the trade idea that I sent out earlier today, and also looking at Wyckoff's accumulation schematics and where we are in the market and where we could futurely go. First off, I'll start by disclaiming that I am not a financial advisor. I am not a professionally certified individual or part of any trading investment corporation. The information I share here is purely what I have learned over several years of education, winning in the market and also losing in the market. It comes from practice, spending 24 hours, 24/7 around on the charts, listening to the people who are smarter than me until I was able to anticipate what moves are going to be happening ahead of time. I'm not making anyone enter trades, just sharing my analysis and take on the market and my own personal choices. If you enter any trades, you are doing so at your own free will. Crypto is volatile and changes day by day, so don't put any money in that you're afraid to lose. So once again, we'll start by showing you the Wall Street cheat sheet market psychology and how the market cycles happen. It starts with the hope, optimism, and belief, and moves into the thrill and euphoria. People think they're making a lot of money and they're geniuses at that time, and then the market will transition and have a market reversal. That's when you'll get into complacency. Anxiety will hit in when you start to break down lower than your entry. Denial and panic and contemplation all happen all like within days sometimes because the market moves so fast. And then you start to go through an accumulation phase, which we're kind of doing right here. I believe that we've already tapped down below here and we've pumped up to this point. And now we're potentially going to break a little bit above or come back down and test the lows until we accumulate enough assets to be able to break above and to start the cycle over again. The market just doesn't die, it goes in a cycle. So with the Wyckoff method here that I wanted to show you, it kind of shows once it breaks down, you hit like a lower point. So the preliminary support here, or the PS, where substantial buying begins to provide pronounced support after a prolonged down move. We just had a big prolonged down move. Volume increases, price and spread widens, signaling that the down move may be approaching its end. That was probably around the 30 to 32K mark that we were previously estimating it for it to hold, but it didn't, it broke down. Selling climax, that's what we pretty much seen down here at 25,400. So your PS point on the graph here, I'm assuming is here. So we'll just put a PS. Make that blue, a little bigger. And we'll say that is that. We'll look back here and we'll look at see where the selling climax was. Selling climax, as you can see, was down here at 25,400. We'll put selling climax. Now, this is where I'm not sure if we've made a higher high and figured out the automatic rally. If that's this point right here was the automatic rally. Or if this was the automatic rally and then we're going to make a push up closer to the PS here and make the second high. But that could be the automatic rally that it's already put in. We'll see how the market responds here the next few days, see if we get that rally above or if that was it. And we're going to be coming down to test the lower lows of 25,400. You look back here, you got your ST, your secondary test, in which price revisits the area of the SC to test the supply and demand balance at these levels. If the bottom is to be confirmed, volume and price spread should be significantly diminished as the market approaches support in the area of the SC. It is common to have multiple STs after the SC. So now we'll go and put our secondary test in. That would be this line, if we are correct. Test, and then we've rallied up above to create a higher resistance line right by the PS. So this is where it's a little lower. It's not as close to the PS as I'd like. So this is where I'm not sure if this is the AR or if this is going to be the AR, and then we're going to look for a higher test up above, kind of like this. All right, break above. Come up, test closer to that PS, and then have that drop down. But we could very well just come test this again, and we're going to have that as this could potentially be the AR still. So we'll just say for right now, we'll play it as this is the AR. And we'll just finish putting up the points on the graph here. So now, so the ST point, that's put in lower. It should come break above higher, which we already did, said it's done there. Now we're going to come see, we're going to verify if that was the AR and higher resistance point, or if this is the AR and we're moving to the next resistance point. So what we can look for next is a potential sweep of the selling climax. So that would be, right here. So we're looking for a sweep of this low. So come down and sweep the low and then gain back support like this and then continue up. which would come back up to the top of the, in between your boxes up at the white line. So it would come back up to your AR lines here, potentially. And then we'd come back down to test the bottom for the third time. And you can see it creates a bullish wedge, kind of just slowly cooling down. Either create another lower low, or there's another Wyckoff distribution model 2 that shows that it doesn't go quite as low. So in this Wyckoff, the schematic number 2, you see you still get that lower test, and then you break up into the AR support resistance line, but you don't come down below the support resistance line. You almost create like a 51,618 retracement. It holds a higher high pretty much at this point, and then we have that spring up. So if you look at that, this just the Wyckoff number 2 distribution model holds the ST point from previous data. So if you look here, we haven't had the lower point put in yet, but it's starting to hold this off right now. So potentially, if we don't hold that level, we look for a sweep. That's going to be an amazing buy zone down below 27,400 if we get that. If not, we might just hold this ST point and continue up. So we'll be looking for a break above those last 2 resistance points for this to kind of play out. Right now, I do believe we're in phase B. I just like I said, I'm not sure if we are coming up to test here to come up again, or if we've already done that and we're going to create a lower low. I figured it would be a good time to stick in a trade for a buy right now anyway. So let's go look back now at this trade that we've been in since earlier today, and I'll kind of go through the whole process of how the whole trade went down and my analysis of everything. I broke it down on the comments here on the trade itself, and we'll just go through it step by step, and I'll show you on the graphs what I was seeing. Go down here. We can replay and we'll go back right from the start. Got it back. So this was 9 o'clock this morning when I sent out our first trade. My computer's just lagging a little bit. Just give it a sec. So I called out the trade idea earlier this morning, giving you an entry for 28,700 to 2,900, stop loss 2,400, take profit 30,000, 37.50, and 31,750. Just right off the bat, if you look here on our RSI momentum on the bottom on the 15-minute chart, it's already getting ready to reset. So you know you're kind of potentially being at the bottom of the trend reversal if the momentum is looking to switch. So right there, I sent out, that was right here. For a sec. So we can see how it played out. It came down, almost touched our bottom entry of 38,700, popped up, looked to gain support up above. So then once again, I sent right here. We have break and retest of our zone. So we broken above 29,000 of our entry. We came up, tested my exponential moving average. That's just the average of the last 50 candles. And we came down to try to test that 29,000 as support and resistance. Essentially, hopefully we're like hoping that that holds and goes up, and we'll see what happened. You can see here, it tried to hold, it bounced up, it did not break above. And it came back down to tests, didn't hold. Didn't hold, we came back down. Okay, so now we broke below our support and resistance. Oh, sorry about that. Broke below the support of resistance. Where could we be looking to enter the market then? Like a tool I like to use is called a Fibonacci tool. So you can find that over here in your tools thing. Fibonacci retracement. So I'll take my low point up to my high point. And for a trend reversal, you're looking for it to hold a 50 to 618 retracement. Okay, it could potentially come down and play in the 786 to 886 zone, but as long as it makes a higher high, it's a good sign that there could be a potential trend reversal. So when you're seeing the market finally make a low and you wanted to enter the market, you wait for it to make a reaction, it bounces up, and now you're looking for it to come back to test like 50% to 61% of the whole move to gain support, which it did. So I used the Fibonacci retracement to help me line that up. As you can also see here, there is this green line. The green line already there. You can see price goes down, tests on the bottom, gets rejected, comes up, tests on it, breaks above it, comes and tests. Now we're starting to see that this is a support and resistance line. So like I said on here, we're looking for this. Now we're looking for a push up above 29,250 for our first confirmation. So the next one, we put it on here, boom, we broke above 29,250. Now we're looking forward to gain support on top of my white EMA line. The average moving average is, and you can see that it bounces off this. So if we can get on top of that and gain some support, that will show that it's a good potential trend reversal. And so I use that to get into the market and to verify that my entry is momentum starting to switch. So you can start to use that on right now all day today while I was looking for my entry, I was using the 5-minute graph. But as it kind of breaks above that, and you can start using higher time frames like the 15-minute or the 1 hour, and then you start relying on that moving average for more of your sells. So it was trying to create support on top. Let's look at our next one. Boom. Started to gain the support on top. Boom. Broke up to my first box of resistance. I put a green box there, right around 29,400. How did I kind of come up with that? Well, look, so I'll start the replay here and we'll get back to the chart. It goes up. How did I know that it was going to come up to 29,400? So the next tool I used was Fibonacci extension tool, it's called. So the same tool I used from this low to this high to find a retracement, now I can use, for one, you can look, it says a negative 0.41. And it went right up to 29,483. That's an extension in one way to do that. But another way you can do it is to get the extension tool again and go from the previous high point down to this low point here, right here, high to low. And you can look for a 1.272 to 1.414 extension with it potentially maxing out at the 1.618. So that's just natural healthy growth from a like an LEO weight kind of standpoint. So that gave me my box, my green box here of, if we just put that back, go back and I'll show you how I marked up this box as the green box. Like that. So now that we've broken above, we extended higher than this high, it's starting a different trend reversal than before. As you can see here, we've been downtrending, 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 trying to gain support on top of that moving average, but it just can't. So now it's finally, it actually popped and it broke above. So that's your first good sign of trend reversal in the market. Now we'll be looking for it to come back down and to gain support on top of that white line. So we will this. That's when I said traders right now 300 pips in profit. We can cancel our lower entry, take 10% of profit, move stops to break even. So now our stops are at 29,000, risk-free trade, and we got a little profits even if it came back into our zone. Okay, so like I said, testing support on moving average white line if held up to the next level, if not looking for a sweep of the previous lows. So now when we pull this up, we've had that break above, right to my green box. Now we're looking for it to hold support on this white line. We have somewhat of a trend line kind of forming below, and we also have the moving average below. So we would really like it to hold this. We know this green line is support and resistance. So if anything, at least hold that for a continuation up. Let's play out what happened next. Price came down, tested on our line. That's when I sent out that last idea. We started to, as you can see here now, we're starting to gain support on top of the white line. As mentioned here, right? Boom. That's a good sign at that point. We're thinking it's going ahead. As we continue on till noon today, we failed to hold that white on my moving average line. And as you can see, we came down. So right here, if you look, now it's starting to build some resistance below the white line, right? And that's also my support resistance line. And it also bounced off of my 29,000 resistance line. At that point, right there, our entry was put in, was stopped out at break even. So we just take our 10% profits on the 300 pips that we make. And now I'm going to be looking for us to get into the market again. So either at the 29,000 or the 28,700 mark. So right now, I would like it to build support above the 29,185 mark again and hold that for us to keep going. That would be my next kind of sign of, okay, it held at the 29,000. It might be okay to enter the market again or wait for the lower entry. As you can see, started to gain, boom, on the line. Or is it going to reject or go up? Came to test. Okay, now we're above. We are above once again. So right here, I said support held. You may re-enter the trade. As you can see, I'm looking for it to gain support on top of the white line again. So I got everybody tented the trade at 29,200 right here, bumping up. It held support, looked good. We made a move up. Now we're looking for it to break these highs. It didn't. It came down to test again. And as you can see, it failed to hold that as support and resistance. See, went below, came up. Now we're going down below again. See, it's testing off the white line, wants to break through, having trouble, finally does again. And then you see right off the bat, it gets rejected off of this box again. Okay, so now that it got rejected multiple times off the top, it's got to come down to test below. So now, how far is it going to drop? What are we looking at? What are potential options? We look, okay, I laid out, here's the support resistance line. We're trending in a parallel channel. That's where highs and lows kind of going from the top to bottom. So I was expecting it to kind of hold in here as long as we're uptrending and creating higher lows. then it's good. If we would have been able to create a higher low here, that's our like springing point. We're waiting for a breakout out of 29,185 and to hold. Once the next time it comes up, I believe it'll pop up, test and bump right up to that 30K mark that we're looking at. But so you can see it failed to hold that resistance. And I gave 3 different entry points I could potentially go down to. As you already seen, it's trending down to that 29,000. It didn't hold, so we're looking for the bottom one. My entry number 2 of the green box at 28,700. Just before the live hopped on here, I went out for dinner. We came back and we noticed, boom, 15-20 minutes ago, we had my 27,800 second entry. So we hopped into the market at for the second entry to average us in right around 28,900. And we're more or less now hopping into regular timeframes, and I'm not sure exactly what has happened since I hopped on at 7 here. So as you can see, we came down. We are trying to hold that 28,700. Oh, and look at that. Looks like we popped back up. We're right back up to 28,900 now. Back in a live time frame. And what to expect now for us. So now we're averaged in from 29,200 because I re-entered us a little higher after our first stop was hit. And then we're averaged in again at 28,700. So right now we're looking for it. See, it already came up, tested the bottom of the support at 29,000. We're hoping for it to break above. Get my marker out for you. We're looking for it to hopefully break up, test it out, gain some support. Maybe you go just a hair lower, pop up, get some resistance at this level, come down, test this, and then break above. So right now I'm going to be watching the 29,000 mark and just hoping and seeing if we're going to be able to get a push up or if we are going to be looking for a push down. You can see here we've had a lot of support put on this green line right here. So it could very well chop around down here, but we don't want it to spend too much time in this green box. I would really like it to come up, break above here, break up to 21,200. We can put our stops to break even. We can put our stops to break even right around the 28,900, and then we have that push up for our first take profit around 29,700 and 30,000. So yeah, that's more or less how I kind of look at how I like my day trading goes, how I'm like analyzing the charts, the different tools that I use for each different thing and what I can expect. So right now, even just if we want to look at maybe an extension from this last move down and where we could potentially go, either way, we can put from this high point to this low point. We will look again for resistance at the 5618. So right here will be, I'll put that yellow. If we can't break above and hold this zone, then and break down lower than 29,630, then it would signify to me that we're not going to be pushing up anymore, and that the market's going to continue going down to close to the 27,000 mark at our lower lows. So this is the first zone of interest that I'll be looking for to kind of make a reaction. I do expect it to push up to the the blue 786 to 886 zone here in the red. If we do manage to make a new high, we can now look the same kind of thing that we did before. We'll look for 1272 to 1414 extension, with it potentially maxing out at the 618 at 30,095. And that, as you can see, that's right by our take profit 1. So right now, everything's kind of playing out how it should. I really don't expect it to stay in this blue green box long. I expect it to pump up past 29,000, and overnight we get a good pump up. When we do reach this zone up here now, I'll kind of take this off. We'll look at a higher time frame now. So you can see my red zone. How did I pick that red zone as maybe potentially that it should stop there? If you look, there, I'll move these over. You're looking for it to come up and test. You see that these are bottom, and then there's also a push up and a top. So between this line and these lines right here, it's pretty much a support and resistance. If you look all the way over here too, the test on the bottom tries to gain support on it. So that is a good level for us to be looking for it to come up to, and then also see if we're going to get rejected off it, or if we can come up and up to here and come down, hold support, and away we go up. For my previous analysis, I'm still looking for it to push up to this zone, 32,000, long-term, couple days. I'm expecting it to do something like this. I'll grab, really wait. So it makes its low, push up to this zone, come down, test this. We'll break up to this part, come back down to here, and come up like that. That's what I'm looking for in the next few days. We're taking the baby steps right now, seeing how we handle this zone. Another thing too, we'll go back down. We have a harmonic, I just seen like we have a harmonic pattern forming, which is really good. Sorry. So we'll be looking for something like this. 5 point, first drop down, up here. It held a double bottom essentially. So now it can come up to here. You can see this is a 7886 to 886 zone, or we could push up to extension of a 618, really. That's probably here. Yeah, 618. Look at that. And you can just see how certain things flow and they correlate with each other. So for the time being here, we will be watching 29,000. Hopefully it holds. We can get a break above 29,400, and it holds 29,400, 500 overnight. Then we should be able to see that nice progression up to that 30K zone that I'm looking for in the future. Other stuff. Anyways, thank you for joining me today, and I will give you an update tomorrow.